bump, 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 bump. Where'd Nate go? Bump, 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 bump.
Dude,
Don't bum bum bum
You're-
bum 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 bum.
your Jeremy video on where you went through his TikTok, I had to turn that off, man. Because Jeremy's
too.
so
No,
freaking creepy, dude. It got to me, man. When he was doing the stepsister bit, I was like, this dude is a creep.
Us with
I was
strong
like,
nuclear
God
families
damn,
who
man.
came from that, no idea what that's like.
Yeah, I don't know if he has like a fetish or if he just didn't even realize that he was like, referring to a P-Hub category.
I think he's a creep. That's what I think. He's got
He's
shark
definitely an odd
eyes.
duck.
He
He's definitely
knows.
an odd
He
man.
knows. He knows.
I think the dude's just creepy. I mean, you have to be kind of creepy to take $20,000 from people to teach them how to not invest.
Yeah, he made another video. He bought more of the dip of all his favorite stocks, and he's in Oatly now.
Yeah, he's stupid. I mean, it's the only way. I mean, like, this is the only way. This is the only description I can give of you. He keeps talking about, he goes, and I'm buying on the dip. And I'm like, homie, okay, I don't know what the Fed is going to do, but if they start, even if they don't hike the rates and they start unwinding their balance sheets, all this speculative stuff is just going to deflate. Like, I don't know why you think this is the dip. Like, I don't. So.
Yeah, this is definitely not a dip. I mean, the market goes
No,
down 2%.
not at all.
It's a dip. Whoa.
Well, dude, yeah, it's so stupid because like Andre Jick made a video. He's like, "Oh, the Fed is crashing the market." I'm like, they haven't raised interest rates, dude. Just because the market's down 1.25% doesn't mean that it's crashing. The crash, when it comes, if we see one, is going to be bigger than the one we saw in March 2020.
Well, the indexes haven't crashed, but a lot of the stupid stocks are kind of crashing. Maybe that's what they're referring to, because it's definitely not the market. The market's market cap weighted, so all the stocks are doing fine.
Yeah, the market is bubbly, but I mean, most of the actual excesses are confined to the speculative stuff. I mean, when you go and you look at a company like 3M, last time I looked at it, it was overvalued, but I mean, not by a lot. And that's one of those companies that's, a stalwart. So it's like there's definitely parts of the stock market that are bubbles, and you're going to feel it when they crash if you're an index and fund investor. But I don't agree that everything is just in a massive bubble.
No, especially with low
not
interest
everything.
rates. I mean, it makes total sense why, stocks are so elevated. Because, you have to compare stocks to bonds. And, like, the stock's return is basically a function of the, interest rate plus, the market risk premium. So
Yeah.
the lower the interest rates, the lower the PE rate or the higher the PE ratios are going to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is this. We've talked about it. If the Fed even can raise interest rates, I don't know that it can. But at the bare minimum, if it starts unwinding that $8 trillion worth of assets that it bought up, you're going to see a lot of the money come out of that highly speculative stuff. And you're already seeing it. ARK's down like 45% or something, like 40 or 45%.
Yeah, and if Tesla were it up, it would just be annihilated.
Well, Tesla is going to, I don't think, like you and I, we've talked about this. We said we were waiting for a crash. I don't think it's going to crash. I think it's just going to deflate slowly over time. I think it's going to stay in this area and then just slowly go down over the years as people realize it's not just going to perpetually go up.
Yeah, it's actually returning. Like, if you look at the long term, let me share my screen real quick. I mean, so eventually, everybody, we're going to talk about crypto in a second, but I want to show you this ARK, 5-year return, and then you'll see that it's kind of returning to its like long-term growth path. Hold on, share my screen. Here we go. Okay. Whoop. Everybody see that? It's at 84. So like if you look at this, like I'm not a technical trader, but if you look at kind of like the long-term growth, it's kind of like slowly growing, and then it had this massive freaking explosion. But then you see it's kind of like reverting back to its long-term, growth rate. So I could say crap, it could probably drop to like, or even lower than that, 50s, 40s, 30s. I mean, it can go anywhere.
Yeah,
It's
but
the future.
the problem with ARK is like 17 of the top 20 holdings aren't even profitable. Somebody asked me on my channel to do trade desk, which I'm going to do, but I mean, I think that's one of her stocks, but I mean, it's a high growth stock, but I mean, its PE ratio is 134.
Jeez,
I mean, maybe
I'm surprised it even has a PE ratio.
you fellas members of the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Oh, it's our Canadian friend. Man, you should join us or come on next week, buddy.
Yeah, I know. But
Meat spin.
but yeah, so it's like I mean, I don't know. I think it's just really gonna hit a lot of these people that bought. I don't think if you like bought Apple, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you have anything to worry about because it's still a quality company. But Apple's overvalued. It's all that high growth tech. People are in for a rude awakening that these stocks just don't go up forever.
Come on, Jay. You know they do. We've been wrong for the past year and a half. It kept going up. Oh.
Apple's like 5% of my portfolio, so if it were to crash, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like 3% of mine or less with VT.
Yeah,
well, actually, it's probably slightly more for me because I have 5% actually in Apple, and then I have a bunch in VT, so it's probably slightly more. But who cares?
Yeah, at your age, dude, I'll be honest with you. At your age, if I thought I could get like a 20% return on a stock, who cares if I don't? You have such long time horizon. Even a guy in his 40s, like I am, if Baba doesn't work out, It's not going to slow me down in retirement 30 years from now whatsoever.
You're in your 40s, Jay? I thought you were 65. All right, well, since all these stocks are overvalued, this is a transition. Why don't we talk about crypto, which is just an amazing hedge against inflation? We actually have a special guest today. His name's Singularity 2045. He's been on here before. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
So tell us about yourself again, in case everybody forgot.
Yeah, so I've been in kind of like the blockchain space I've known about blockchain for a while, but I didn't really get into it until this year, specifically development. And yeah, I've been kind of developing with Solidity for like Ethereum smart contracts for about 6 months. I made like websites. I was in a Chainlink hackathon recently, actually won a few prizes. And yeah, I mean, I could talk first about the projects, or I could talk about them after. If you want to talk about the tokens first, it's up to you, strongman.
Yeah, we can start with the what's it called, the truck stop token, and then we'll talk about your crypto, because I am curious about what it's like to be in the crypto space and how much you can make potentially and stuff like that. But we'll start with the token, because Singularity actually made a token, which we're not going to release everybody because I don't want this to turn into a pump and dump, but we do have a truck stop token right here.
Oh yeah.
That was something I quickly kind of drew. You could see I kind of doxed myself. You could see my name kind of in the GitHub link.
Whatever.
It's okay. I mean, I did that by accident. Actually, not by accident, but I noticed it, and it's fine. But
you should have said it. No one probably would have noticed.
I mean, I checked that. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, you could tell who I am based off my channel anyway, because of my GitHub that I link in every channel. Sorry, in every.
You're gonna get Meat Breath is gonna send an assassin after you now for coming on here.
Yeah.
Meat.
So I guess
breath.
So I guess the idea is like I have technically deployed this token to other kind of like test nets for free, but like I won't actually submit it to a real like a real trading network, so to speak, like Polygon or Ethereum. Even though I did write the white paper because I thought we were going to do that, but because Strongman told me not to, I won't do it out of respect.
It's one thing, man, if we as a joke make 4 coins and we have possession of them, but with crypto, man, you never know. Even if it got out and then it turned from a joke like Dogecoin was, even if the 4 of us were like, dude, this is a joke, it'd get out of control.
Okay.
Imagine if we had a huge channel of how freaking rich we could get from this.
Yeah.
It's such a
Truck stop token.
I like this. I like this.
As we're speaking, it's now 13%. It's now 13% of my portfolio.
Yeah. So I made it. So this is a little technical. That's like a 32 by 32 image that I kind of like zoomed in on, so to speak. It looks clean because of the tool that I was using it in, but for the export, it was like really blurry. But it's specifically 32 by 32 because that's the size of like the image of a token. That's like the maximum size. So that's why I made it.
Is there what you can add like a 2-bit like hooker thumb thing in here?
It's possible.
This is the design. Let's read this.
Truck stop token goes hand in hand with lot lizard token.
Exactly.
Its own ecosystem.
Yeah, so I kind of like read like other like kind of like joke tokens and like how they're structured. They're usually like pretty short. I made a table of contents like, okay, what, like who, what, where, and why, and who. Like those are like questions that I ask about stuff to understand things. So that,
I mean, I personally think this is very professional. Like I would consider putting 50% of my portfolio in this. So what is Trump stock token? Let's see. We got some keywords here. Truck stop token, TST, testosterone, is a ERC20. You have to explain what that is. Token keyword, disrupting the blockchain. Because it's the future, bro. Plus, we have a transparent and fair tokenomics. All right, and there's some pictures of some trucks. So what is ERC20?
So ERC20, so that's basically, so let me back up a little bit. So Ethereum, let me explain how kind of Ethereum works. So Ethereum is a smart contract blockchain where you can change balances, so to speak. So the main currency on Ethereum is Ether, right? Which is expressed in different units, ways, the smallest unit of it. But let's say that you don't want to use Ether, so to speak, because Ether is used for gas and it can get kind of expensive. Let's say that you want to like have other balances that are not Ether. So what you can do is you can make a token. So what happened was people were kind of like, there was no standardization for tokens. So kind of like, think of like Windows, so to speak, like Windows and like Mac OS, so to speak. Like there was no standard for that kind of like years ago, but since like we have operating systems now we have a standard, so to speak. So this is like a standard for tokens that has certain things that are built into it. Like ERC20 has functions like, I know the balance of, like I know the total supply, I know how many tokens are per person, I could transfer them, I could approve them. And the approval thing, this is a little technical, but like basically I have to, before I could send my tokens to a contract, I have to first approve them and then it would send them so that it's not just stealing my tokens, so to speak.
So this is, it's like a basically, I mean, if I understand this correctly, it's kind of like the building block of any new token.
Yeah, it's like a protocol, so to speak. It's like a protocol so that if you want to transfer stuff or look stuff up, it's kind of built into it. Like it's just a library, so to speak, that has all that functionality built in. So it's compatible.
Okay. That makes sense. I like it. Why does truck stop token exist? Singularity 2045 was inspired to make this token after strong personal finance said that bad investments will have you down to the truck stop for retirement. That was actually started by Jay Nagy, but I'll take credit for it.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's fine.
It's not a perfect white paper. I should add strong man. I just wrote this in like a few minutes. So
well, tokens like this don't normally have typos, so it actually fits in well.
There you go. Now it's official.
TST is made for entertainment purposes and to get us rich. If we get a strong following, we can create a DAO. What is DAO?
It's a decentralized autonomous organization. So it's basically like a community where people can vote on proposals. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about further on.
Oh.
Yeah. So
you think I care what my community wants?
Yes. So it's a DAO. Oh wait, go back up. Finish reading it.
For example, strongman, personal financer, make videos on Meet Kevin or Jeremy for 1 week straight. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like the idea would be like,
oh yeah,
the idea is like people would vote like, hey, do you want people to vote on Meet Kevin or Jeremy, so to speak, and like people would vote, and the person that the proposal that gets the most amount of like token balances, like the most amount of tokens staked, that will win, so to speak. And it's like, okay, because the DAO, the people that put in the tokens voted for this, that means that you have to kind of do that now. The community has
tokens to like vote, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that they want to have it like this so that people can't just like get a bunch of like bots and like spam a network, so to speak, like with like regular kind of like voting systems, I guess, like on like Web 2.0. People can like just like have a bunch of bots click on stuff with like Twitter or like whatever specialized bots to fake it out. But like with this,
like, do I get the tokens? Like, is that
no?
Is it my payment?
I mean, we could structure something like there's like a fee and like people have to pay that, but I think for the most part, it's like you don't have to do that unless there's like an economic incentive for the people that are voting too, like an investment. Like if their portfolio is geared toward like, hey, if we're going to invest in this other asset and I hold that asset, then of course, like then it might be worth it. The ROI for me putting in that money for the proposal might be worth it. But yeah, I don't know all the kind of ramifications of that, so to speak, if that would be like a conflict of interest, so to speak. So I mean that's a little bit more advanced, but for the most part, no, there's no like fee.
Yeah, we need to make a hedge fund that literally just everybody puts their money in and we just buy VT. And we just charge like 2%.
Yeah, like Dave Ramsey and his mutual fund.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
yeah, I love when he backpedals and he's trying to go, no, I have actively managed funds that outperform index funds, and everybody's just like, yeah, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah. And his counter argument is, I'm older than you.
Yeah. That's it. That's the best counter argument ever. Yeah, I'm older than you.
Oh, Dave Ramsey. Freaking, and he's just picking like tech funds and stuff like that. It did good in the past, so I'm going to buy it.
By the way, real quick before we go on, Andrew Maynard. Hey, we'll answer your question because that's a great question. Let us get through the crypto before we start answering questions.
Yeah,
I don't think we're ignoring you because you asked a hard question.
A hard question.
Certified public accountant. Wow.
Oh God, is he challenging me? How do I get TST, testosterone? We are planning a launch on Uniswap. Is this the actual freaking logo of Uniswap?
Yes, it is. Yeah, the Ethereum, I don't know why, but the Ethereum community really likes like unicorns and like these like weird stuff. I mean, like it is what it is. I think it is interesting. I mean, my profile pic kind of has the same color palette, so you can make fun of me for it. But like, I don't know. I think it's unique, at least, even though it does seem kind of.
At least you have like a naked chick on yours. This is.
I don't think you should have a naked chick. I think you should have like a lot lizard that's been run through the ringer and put away wet.
Yeah, you know what we should do? We should put the lot lizard on top of the unicorn. That would be the term.
Yes, she's riding the unicorn down to the truck stop.
Yeah, put her like right here, right to the horn. All right, so we're planning a launch.
There's just truckers boned up, ready to go.
Are they built on smart contract blockchains like Ethereum and Polygon for financial security? Well, I guess, not like financial security in your life, but to like, I guess, protect your privacy. Is that what that is?
Well, the idea is that it's on like a blockchain so that it's like it has proof of work or proof of stake, so that if people want to try to attack your network, they have to attack the entire network, so to speak. Like I think I explained it on the last time I came on, but it was a while ago. But I'll try to summarize this. So proof of work is like, if I want to do a proof of work attack, I have to have like 51% or more computational power than the network. Like in terms of Bitcoin, I would need that amount of ASCIIs to attack the network. But proof of stake, I would have to own like 51% of like the network to attack it and try to mess
So
up.
what do you
the
get out of
credit
attacking it?
centers.
Are you like stealing tokens, or are you just
Yeah, you could.
disrupting
I mean, if you could successfully attack it, you could change the balances and you could steal funds. You could like literally rewrite every piece of the memory, but no one has really been able to attack it because of how kind of big these networks are, so to speak. But
But
yeah,
it's
I mean, if
theoretically
someone
possible, right? And then it could just basically annihilate everything.
mathematically, yeah, I mean, mathematically it is possible, but no one has attempted to do it.
Bro, the more you teach me about cryptocurrency, the more I'm just like, this really is rat poison squared. Like,
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it may not. Okay, I kind of agree, but like in a weird way. So like, I think Warren Buffett said that Bitcoin is rat poison. I mean, I do kind of agree if you consider central banks like rats, but like, I just think that there's definitely risks to this. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I think the idea behind all this is automation. Like, there's just a lot of, I guess, bureaucracy, and there's a lot of shady stuff going behind in the background, so to speak.
I
Like
agree.
Enron. Like, listen. Like, oh, actually, this is a great point I want to bring up. So Enron is a great example of this because they were cooking the books. Like quarterly, they would have these like shady reports, and then people like we're not able to verify these reports. It was just these accounts like spitting out garbage. But the idea with a blockchain, it's not so much the security, but the second point, the transparency. Like if I wanted to see what's exactly happening within a smart contract to look at kind of like the inflows and outflows of what's happening, I could actually see what's happening. I can't do the same thing with a company unless they give me a quarterly report, but then I have to also trust that quarterly report is correct, so to speak. So that's kind of like why
interesting. I mean, I think in the future something will come out of this. We'll have like I think it'll make society better somehow. But I mean, the tokens now and the scammery that's going on, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the pump and dumps. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's a major problem with it. I can see this technology at some point being used, like the smart contracts. I mean, that has a myriad of uses. Whatever it's like, whenever there's an agreed transaction between two people, you have a record of it right there. Like, no, man, I paid you X amount of dollars to come to my house and do this work, and you didn't complete it. You have it right here. This is the agreement. But I mean, just with everything that's going on now, I mean, there's like nothing stopping anybody that's listening to this right now from creating tokens.
Yeah, but here's what happens most of the time. There's a very important statistic that I saw a few years ago, I think. So like I think back in 2017 there were all these like different altcoins that were like an altcoin is basically anything that's not Bitcoin that's a coin, right? And I think it was crazy, like 80% of the majority of tokens from 2017 that had a run up, they're down like significantly. I think 80% of them are still down from that all-time high. So like if you held Bitcoin, you would have still been okay, so to speak, relative to that. So yeah, I mean, and I'll say really quick too, in terms of like a structured portfolio, and I know structured portfolio in crypto doesn't really make sense to you guys. It's just like, it sounds like a joke, but like there are people that have built index funds kind of like, using John Bogle's like philosophy about index funds with like the market.
Yeah, they're actually
market dominance.
Like a year or two ago, there are certain indexes that you can buy. I think you pay pretty high fees, but there are like indexes for crypto. And if you were to invest in crypto, yeah, I would do it the index approach. I wouldn't do the freaking.
And I mean,
yeah.
Look, I come back to this on a lot of things. I'm like, okay, I'll be honest with you. I don't really understand crypto. So my approach to something I don't understand is to just step back and say, I'm not going to participate in it. Other people are going to look at you and say, well, you're losing out on this money. Okay, but I mean, if I don't know how to play a game, I'm not going to play it. That's what it amounts to for me. So it's like there's money to be made in the baseball card market. As much as PBD is wrong or whatever, however you say his name, whatever he's saying about baseball cards, if he understands the market and he can make money at it, good, go for it. But I'm going to tell him, if he looks at me, how much are you willing to pay me for this Mickey Mantle rookie card? I'll give you $100. So this is worth $350,000. Not to me, it's not.
Yeah,
I want
really,
cash flows, man. I'm
I
not,
agree.
I'm not a millionaire yet where I can spend money on something that is like art. You can make money on art, but I'm not in a position to take my life savings and go buy some art piece and speculate that some rich guy is going to buy it from me for more. I want cash flows. I want people paying me money.
Like, you don't even have to be wealthy. You could like almost there's like wine, there's art, there's all sorts of ways to invest in that crap now. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, there is money to be made if you really understand the wine business or baseball cards, there's money to be made. I just go back to
I understand
because you understand it doesn't mean I do. And if I don't understand it, I'm not putting any money in. And that's my
exposure because in the index funds, there's those blockchain companies like Mara or whatever, and the other ones. But you own little stakes in those through your index funds.
Yeah, but those are massively, overvalued. I still can't convince John to sell Mara. He's like, nah, dude, it's the future. I'm like, you're gonna lose all the gains.
It's the future, bro.
But wait. I wanted to kind of, there's a few things I wanted to say about. So for the index fund for crypto, it's like the conservative portfolio is like 60% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum, and like 10% altcoins. Yeah, so there's one called Bitwise. We go to Bitwise.
Bro, the Dogecoin millionaire is not going to be happy with what you just said.
Dude, like that dude bought no, hold up. That dude bought Cardano at $2.80. Cardano is like, what is it? Like it's like cut in half the price right now. Let me look up the price.
I remember when
Cardano told me it was going to.
It's $1. Yeah, dude, he bought it like $2.80. It's $1.20 right now. $1.20. Like he's down over 50% now.
Yeah, dude, the Doge is going to be down at the stables.
Yeah, so let me. What I'll do really quick too. So there's. See Uniswap. That's the unicorn. I'm not making this up. That's the actual logo for it. So.
These logos are so freaking stupid.
So Bitcoin, that's like the big daddy. So Bitcoin's the big one. Ethereum is like the smart contract one. Even though I think Bitcoin has smart contracts now, but they're kind of limited. It's with the Taproot upgrade. Let me go through all these because I know I have some experience.
Hold on, before you do that, is this market cap weighted or they have like specific allocations?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's a mix of both. Honestly,
wait, what the hell is Bitcoin Cash? Is that just
dude? That's really funny you ask, but I'm gonna get to that. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
And there's another thing called Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, which is a total scam. I got to talk about that one too. So to dissect, I'm happy.
I own all of them.
Yeah. So Bitcoin. I went over Ethereum. Solana, dude. Solana. Like I was initially interested in, but dude, it's a VC pump and dump. Like if you look at the token allocation, I wrote this in my white paper. Actually, we'll get to it later. But like Solana, it has gone down like not 6 times, but like 3 or 4 times in the last 6 months. It's like insane how many times it keeps breaking. And like there's like VCs that were like joking about selling their bags as soon as the tokens got unlocked too. It's like a VC pump and dump. Like if you look at this, if you want to look up a really bad chart too called Internet Computer. I'm not kidding. This token is called Internet Computer. You want to look it up really quick,
dude? So then a lot of the crypto market is just venture capitalists coming in and speculating, then, right?
Yeah. Wait, look up the chart.
People are making a freaking fortune off of crypto. They're getting all the money from like poor and middle class people is getting funneled up into rich hedge fund clowns.
Well, that's because
dude, I don't care.
It is the market.
I'm buying Cum Rocket.
Okay, go back. Look at the chart. Look at the chart though, Chris. Not the site, but the chart. Look up the chart.
Oh, okay. Let's get there.
Because the chart, this is like the biggest
Jay,
VC pump up I've ever seen.
It is?
Yeah.
So zoom out all time. Go to all time. Look at that chart, dude.
Seems like a typical crypto to me.
Yeah, right?
They all follow the same glide path. They had this massive pump and this slow death.
I think it hit like a max of $700 or something insane.
Jesus Christ. I wonder what happened to Million Token. Let's see. Million token.
It's the future.
Bro,
Million Remember, like, all the hate we got because we were crapping on this thing?
$100 or something.
Yes.
Oh
It was
my
up to $200. I did a thing. I did a video on Andre Geek, how he encouraged this guy to buy millionaire token. And then Andre Geek, once it started crashing, he took his video down. And I'm like, sorry, homie, that lives forever on my channel. Like, we know you did it.
I saw that.
Damn.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's all the same. Like, you know, it has a massive spike, and then this kind of, even the patterns almost look the same. And then it's like this slow death. Now it's at $12.
Well, the guy who was buying into it, he's in his 50s, and he kept saying, I don't care if I lose my money. And I'm like, bro, you will care when you lose your money. Saying that you don't give an F and actually not giving an F are two completely different things.
Yeah, he didn't buy in at the beginning. He probably bought in at like the top. So he's been freaking just utterly obliterated.
Dude, you think those small little jumps that people are like, oh, it's going to go back up, man. It's going to go back up.
Yeah, because
I do.
The small jumps are huge. Like, you go from like 23 to 43. I mean, that's like, oh my
God,
that's 1,000x. And then it crashes again.
Okay, so let's go back to the index. So Cardano, I don't even know where to start with this one. This dude is just like the guy that created it is very he's very egotistical. I think he has like narcissistic personality disorder. He is just, I don't know. The community is not very nice too, from what I've noticed as well. Oh yeah, that was him at the heart attack grill the other day. But like, I don't know. Maybe. To be honest with you, like the biggest problem with that.
I'm sorry.
That guy eats tattooed chef.
You know how you know how I picture this kid? I picture that guy in high school sitting there talking about something stupid and then somebody chucking an apple at the side of his temple.
But like, okay, like all jokes aside, like the biggest problem is that they are having problems with, I guess, like the architecture with the TPS, even though they say Ethereum is really slow. So, I mean, if they could figure it out, like, good for them. But like, a lot of people are just saying like ETH is terrible, and like ETH is slow. Don't get me wrong. They're trying to like fix what they have, but it's more functional than Cardano in its current state. So,
can you explain this? What is this?
It's like a brain. I actually don't know. I think it's like a brain sensor thing.
Dude, I hope that dude catches a computer virus that way.
Melts his brains.
Just melts down. It's like scanners and his head just explodes.
So Litecoin, oh my, yes, dude, Litecoin is pretty controversial. So Litecoin is like, so here's a little bit of history. Litecoin is actually, so Dogecoin is actually based off of Litecoin technology, if you guys didn't know that. So Litecoin, yeah, so Litecoin is, the idea of Litecoin is like, oh, Bitcoin is really slow, so we're going to actually make it more lightweight. People are saying it was like the silver Bitcoin, it's going to flip Bitcoin. But like what happened was, and I think a lot of people, the reason people don't like it now is because a lot of people sold, I guess. Like I think the founder sold a lot of his tokens to the market. He dumped a lot of them, so a lot of people in the community.
Shocking.
Bro, yeah. They're all doing that, dude. They're all doing that. Millionaire token douchebag tech lead. He was unloading his tokens at $200. I mean, there's no way he wasn't. They're all
he made
doing
a freaking fortune off of that. I mean, even the price now, it's at $12. That's still a massive return for him.
Yeah, 12 times your money.
I think he only put in like 50 grand, so it's probably like what 1,000 times his money.
Yeah. So from a fundamental
12 times the truckers.
From like a tokenomics analysis, like Litecoin is technically better than Dogecoin because Litecoin at least has it has a fixed amount of supply. Dogecoin, it has no cap supply, and it's like printing out like tens of thousands of Doge like every couple minutes. I think it's extremely inflationary.
Nothing is better than Doge. Come on,
it's the future, bro. It's,
I think Dogecoin's
been
getting annihilated recently, hasn't it? Let's check Robin's stock. You can see my amazing portfolio for a second. Dogecoin.
Rob.
Yup, it's down.
Oh, it looks
What
like
did
every
it
other
get up
freaking
to?
crypto pumping up. It's just
What did it get up to?
Spike and then
It's like 70 cents. Dude, do you guys remember what happened on the Dogecoin night or no? I'll tell you exactly what happened. Or no?
Are you talking about the night Elon Musk was on
SNL. Yeah, did you guys watch that or no?
Ooh.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I watched some of the
oh
stuff
my
on
God.
YouTube.
I did,
But-
yeah.
Dude, I gotta repeat what happened. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So like everyone's saying like it's going to $1, it's going to $1. His mom, I think it was Mother's Day as well. His mom comes on the show and like I think he was like Elon was like talking about himself and he's like, oh, I have Asperger's. He said that live. So like that, which is like, listen, he's being honest or whatever. It is a little cringy, but like he's being honest. So like, I can't hate on him for being authentic. Right. But the reason why Dogecoin like fell off a cliff, like immediately, it fell like 10 or 20% immediately was what happened was his mom came on stage on Mother's Day. He's like, oh, hey, Elon, how are you? And he's like, oh, I'm good. So what did you get me for Mother's Day? I hope it's not Dogecoin. And then people are like, ha, 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 ha. And then the skit ends. And then Dogecoin dumps like 20% immediately.
Imagine having your life savings based on something like that. Look at this.
Dude, Elon Musk is just he's a master at manipulating the public. And I just don't know how people don't see through his BS.
Dude, like I feel like that was all planned, like that whole thing.
Oh,
like,
it was.
I feel like he
Keep
may
looking up
have. I feel like he may have had like I don't know, like maybe like this is just like a conspiracy theory, but like a short against Dogecoin because he's like, yeah, I know I could completely control this.
He probably
open a
did.
short position and make
He
a
probably
fortune.
did. Bro, I mean, look at all the stuff that he's promised. And like what was whoever got me into Thunderfoot, thank you. But I mean, just like there was something before I started watching Thunderfoot's video where I just go, he's scamming. I can't put my finger on it, but like just everything. Whenever anybody pretends to be Iron Man, I just look at it and I go, okay, dude, you've got everybody else fooled. And then when you look at his tunnel in Las Vegas that he dug with his company is nothing more than I would think in my head and then go, nah, that's stupid. It wouldn't work and dismiss it. Yet he's getting money from the state to do it. And that tunnel is a fire hazard because if like you can't get out of your car, you're just going to burn to death inside that tunnel if there's an accident.
Yeah, but batteries don't catch on fire. Come on. There's only going to be
But
electric.
Jay, I thought it was simple. I thought it was like a hockey table.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Look, I would love to talk to him. It's really easy. It's like an air hockey table. So I could go, yeah, but like how? How are you gonna pressurize that vacuum? You're just not understanding. Like, no, but I understand. Like, how are you gonna do it? to see him fold.
Just trust me, bro.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we're up to.
You can now play air hockey with your Neuralink. What's your Neuralink? Neuralink.
You should have a TikTok where you just go on it once a day and you go, Neuralink.
Okay, so Polygon, I actually don't hate that much. I was skeptical about it, but like they actually have some good integrations now. I think Uniswap actually added them to do swaps. Now that was actually the idea that I was going to have for truck stop token because Ethereum, it's like crazy. If you want to like list a token, it's like $100 in gas fees. But I think with Polygon, yeah, it's the network is like really slow and it's like clogged up right now. And
It's an investment. I can make like $10 million.
What are gas fees?
So here's the idea. So like a smart contract. So let me back up even more. So Ethereum is a turn complete blockchain, so to speak. So like you could program it to do custom stuff, right? To change balances or to like see like, hey, if like this happened, then do this and pay out this amount of stuff, so to speak, right? I'm talking kind of vaguely, but let me put it this way. Like, let's say that we have like rainfall insurance, right? So to speak, for a farmer. So like if there's been X amount of time, if there has been rainfall, then you don't get a payout because there was no drought. But if there's been a drought, then you get a payout. so to speak. So it's kind of like a really basic overview of it, or like other insurance products. And actually, later on, I actually built an insurance product for like a proof of concept one, and you guys are gonna probably think it's funny, but like, yeah. So Polygon is just like it's like Ethereum. It's like a proof of stake. Sorry, not proof of stake. Okay, so Polygon is proof of stake. Ethereum is proof of work, but Ethereum wants to be proof of stake in the future. But so the original question was, what is gas? Gas is the incentive for someone to mine your transaction, so to speak. So the idea is that there's a finite amount of transactions that could be in a block, and there's only a block every like couple seconds, right? So people are like kind of bidding to get in for their transaction, right? So your gas price is basically like bidding and like, hey, validators or whoever wants to mine my transaction, I'm willing to pay this much for you to buy it. So the person that bids like nothing, they're never gonna get someone to pick it up unless like the gas prices drop and like Ethereum drops, right? But if you bid something extremely high, people like miners are going to be like jumping over like hand over fist trying to like get your money, so to speak. Because like, hey, I'm incentivized to take this gas price from this person because they're willing to pay it, right? Does that kind of make sense? It's like it's people that pay a higher gas price, they get a priority.
Well, the miners have real costs, like they're like it's like the servers and electricity, and I guess that's how they get paid, basically. Right?
Yeah, exactly. The miners are incentivized based off of gas fees.
Okay, so do they get paid in more tokens, or do they like?
Yeah, they get paid in the native token.
Mm.
They get paid in Ethereum, yes, exactly. And like with Bitcoin, you get paid in Bitcoin.
Man, I need to turn my cell phone into a Bitcoin miner.
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I would do it if I could get like, hey, will you mine Bitcoin on this? Sure, so I could sell it.
Yeah, but the thing is like you could do that years ago, and I tried doing that, but like my computer wasn't strong enough. But like now it's extremely competitive to be a profitable Bitcoin miner, so to speak. You have to have these like crazy setups and everything. So
a lot of countries are cracking down on it. Like with all the trouble in Kyrgyzstan right now, they were talking about in the news. They were saying that's one of the biggest crypto mining spots right now is Kyrgyzstan, and they're under whatever. They're fighting back against their dictator.
Yeah, so I mean, people are trying to make it more friendly to the environment by going to. I think what they do is, and I'm not an expert on this, but I've heard that people go to like oil refineries and they take the fumes to kind of like power their rig, so to speak. They're able to like funnel that like wasted energy from the refineries and try to convert that into electricity to burn for mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, this freaking crap is causing electricity shortages in Kyrgyzstan. Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only way you're ever going to make mining for cryptos somewhat not a drain on the system is if we all switch to nuclear power, but we're not going to do that because we have too many hippies in places.
Yeah, well, not even like nuclear. I mean, okay, nuclear, but like fusion, so to speak. I think we have like fission right now. I'm not a nuclear expert myself, but like fusion is supposedly like the sun is based off of like fusion technology, right? That's how the sun operates, and that's like an infinite.
The sun is fission, isn't it? Because it
is it?
No, fission. You're right. It's fusion. You're right. It's fusing. It's fusing heavier and heavier atoms until it eventually fuses iron. And at that second the first second that the sun fuses an iron molecule, it's the death knell for the star because it can't convert it to anything heavier. You're right. I was wrong. Fusion is splitting. Fusion is fusing. Fission is splitting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So people are getting a science lesson today too.
Yeah. So like, I guess if we have like a breakthrough in fusion technology, this energy stuff won't be as bad. So it's hard to, all I can really say it's hard to predict the future with like energy, because we have an energy, we have like people complaining about energy, but like if we have fusion, then it's like we have like little like clusters of the sun like powering the planet then, right?
Hey, correction, it's Kazakhstan we're talking about.
Okay,
somebody's saying, I don't know. It's
probably all of those Central Eastern Asian countries.
Yeah, it's probably all those countries.
Because
that
China
that are,
freaking banned it, so people move.
that are Soviet satellites.
Wait, you said Kazakhstan? What state is that in?
Kazakhstan it's
What
a
state?
Central Asian country. So I think Kazakhstan is right next to
Sorry.
Uzbekistan, which is you got to know your stands.
Son.
Stan, I gotta fight him.
Here's Kazakh. That's a freaking huge country. Look at that.
Yeah, it's to the north of Uzbekistan there. And then
Like
where's
I'm
Kyrgyzstan?
where I was in Afghanistan.
I think it's like
Oh, yeah.
south east Kyrgyz.
That's where
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nur Sultan Hipsintha. It's a great city.
Dude, and you in the comments section could call us dumb for not knowing exactly where it is, but there's only like 1% of Americans that even know that those are countries.
Yeah.
Someone called us dumb for not knowing exactly where Kazakhstan is.
Yeah. So
Yes,
Chainlink.
you are.
Chainlink.
Yeah. So Chainlink, actually, I don't think is like terrible. I actually like Chainlink quite a bit. They offer, so Chainlink is kind of complicated. There's a lot going on with it. From a basic standpoint, they offer price feeds that are decentralized. So they try to have like multiple people reporting a price feed so that if one person tries to be a bad actor, there's other people like kind of like protecting the price from getting manipulated for contracts that are trying to reference like real-time price data, right? So that's one kind of product that they have, and that's actually free. Like if you connect your smart contract to that, as of now, I think that's completely free to have like continuous price feed calls. Then I think API calls, like if you want to get like rainfall data from like open weather or some JSON data that's off chain, that's not deterministic in the real world, you'd have to use an API call, and I think you have to pay link tokens for that for the operator to be incentivized to get that data on chain. Chainlink VRF, I think it's verifiable random function. That's like for having a legitimate random number that's off chain. So this is a bit technical, but like blockchains they're deterministic, right? So what some people used to do is they used to take block.timestamp and they tried to like take like a modulus of that. They try to like make it like a number within a certain range, right? To make it like a lottery. But here's the thing, like if the miners can actually see that value, they could try to manipulate the block timestamp and try to time it perfectly so they can, instead of it being like a kind of like a random timing game, they could actually collude and try to win the game. So that's why you wouldn't do that on chain. That's why you would want to do something with like, I think there's another solution too that Chainlink doesn't offer, but like it's like a DAO thing. But like I think Chainlink VRF is like the industry standard. There's a lot of people that are picking it up. Something new that a lot of people are not familiar with, it only came out 6 months ago, I think, or a little later, was Chainlink keepers. They basically, so with smart contracts, they don't automatically execute stuff, right? You have to kind of like write scripts to automate stuff. But like with Chainlink keepers, the idea is they want to have everything on chain, and they'll actually have like a keeper, which is like a person monitoring your contract. You pay them like a small amount of link, and they will automatically update something for you, so to speak. So like actually on my YouTube channel, I actually made like a programming tutorial for two different things. One is like a payroll thing, like if X amount of time has elapsed, I will pay out this amount of money, so to speak. Or second one is like for buy limit orders, right? So like if you want to buy something, like if something goes high, sorry, you don't want to buy when something is high. Back up. Like let's use Polygon, for example. Let's say Polygon is like 250 right now, right? But let's say I want to take into account arbitrage, or not arbitrage, but volatility. Let's say that I think Polygon is either going to hit $3 or $2. It could swing other way because it's a volatile asset, right?
I'll be right back.
So the idea, the baby ponder probably. Yeah, so the idea is that if I want to buy, like, if I want to have a buy order, I would buy at $2, and if I want to have a sell order, I would sell at $3 to kind of like take into that volatility, kind of like a strangle options, right? So what Chainlink keepers would do is like initially I can like initiate that on the contract, right? But the contract has no way of like kind of knowing to execute other stuff automatically unless I use like a script or use Chainlink keepers. So Chainlink keepers is like the better solution. It's a more modern on-chain solution. I think
Okay.
the last thing they have is like CCIP, which is like a very it's a little complicated, but it's basically trying to bridge all these different like smart contract platforms to be interconnectable with like this giant global bridge. So there's a lot going on with Chainlink. I'm actually a pretty big fan of them.
Okay. I'm trying to keep up, dude.
Chainlink is complicated.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of this, like, I have zero trouble admitting, like, when something's just outside my circle of competence. My buddy John is balls deep in a lot of this stuff, and he's tried to explain this stuff to me. And I'm just sitting there looking at him like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if I could summarize Chainlink in like one sentence, I would say Chainlink is trying to make smart contracts more reliable and connected to the real world.
Okay. So what is this Algorand? Is that
Algorand? So it's basically it's another smart contract platform. I'm not an expert on Algorand, but let's just go back to there we go. So Algorand is it's kind of like Polygon and Ethereum. I mean, Solana and Cardano do also have smart contracts, but like they're all smart contract platforms. Basically, you could write like business logic to automate stuff. And Bitcoin Cash. So okay, this one is kind of interesting. So I think my understanding on Bitcoin Cash is that it's like kind of like the original Bitcoin, but then what happened was I think Bitcoin community decided to kind of split. So the modern Bitcoin is slightly different than I guess the white paper. But people are like, oh, I like Bitcoin Cash because it's like the quote unquote true Bitcoin. But like Bitcoin Cash has been absolutely getting obliterated in terms of its performance compared to regular Bitcoin. So I wouldn't really recommend it, but some people hold it in their portfolio.
I actually had a theory, like it was like a year or two ago. I like bought like a couple $100 of crypto, and I was like, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin Cash because people are so stupid that they're gonna think it's the actual Bitcoin and it's gonna go up.
there's a lot of
yeah, dude. Well, there's another thing I want. Do you guys remember Ethereum Classic? People when it shut up about Ethereum Classic a couple like months ago, like people on like Robinhood pumping it. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but
what happened
tell
to
us.
So this is a little complicated, but like there was something called a DAO attack. So going back to the DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization. So Ethereum, the architecture of Ethereum was not flawed. What happened was someone wrote and this is an actual like really important thing to know if you're a dev. There was a re-entrancy attack. So the idea is like this, like, you know, if you go to an ATM, like it'll like deduct your balance and then give you money, so to speak, right? But with the re-entrancy attack, someone actually wrote the order of operations wrong, right? So to speak. So they give you the money and then they deduct the balance. But if I'm an attacker and I see that someone actually they change the balances after sending the money, what I could do is like, as soon as I get the funds, I can keep calling back that function so it never changes my balance. So I could infinitely withdraw money. Does that kind of make sense? So like I'm tricking the system. Yeah, I know. It sounds like really stupid. And like the solution is to just change the order of like those operations happening. But like this actually led to like a crazy amount of Ethereum getting stolen. So what happened was, I think the ultimatum was, okay, we're going to fork Bitcoin and then we're going to create two different versions of Ethereum. One where the DAO hack happened and then one where we had it not happen, so to speak. And that's why reentrancy attacks are so dangerous, so to speak. So a lot of people in Robinhood were like saying like, oh, Ethereum Classic, it's awesome and everything. But like in reality, like based off of my research, at least, there's not a lot of development and there's like just like not a lot of like projects that are building on Ethereum Classic. It just doesn't have the same community support as the current Ethereum ecosystem. And I think, oh yeah, so I went on kind of a tangent on Ethereum Classic, but Bitcoin Satoshi version, BSV, there's this dude that claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, right? The guy that made Bitcoin, right? But yeah, I don't think it's him. You're talking about Craig Wright, I think that's his name.
Rogan had a dude on who back in like 2014 who was like all about Bitcoin, and that's where I learned Satoshi's name.
Yeah, so this guy Craig Wright is like, oh, I'm Satoshi and everything, but like I personally and a lot of people feel the same way. I think Vitalik Buterin feels the same way. This is his argument too on why I don't think Vitalik Buterin is the creator of Ethereum. Why I don't think Craig Wright is Satoshi. He says like he has like behind closed doors is like shown like, oh, like I did this and this to other Bitcoin developers. They're from Satoshi and they agree, but it just doesn't make sense, that theory, right? The person Satoshi, he was the one who initially started mining Bitcoin, right? If you are Satoshi, if you want to prove it, you should be able to transfer the funds from Satoshi's wallet to another wallet. That's how I would know that you're actually Satoshi. But if you can't do that, I guess some people might say like, well, I lost my private keys, but still, like, if you're Satoshi, I think you would be able to know how to handle your private keys and have backups of it because you wrote the white paper. So the arguments don't really make sense. I don't think he's Satoshi. That's not Craig Wright. If you look up Craig Wright Satoshi, then he'll come up. He's like
like every time I type Satoshi, this guy pops up.
He's like Craig Wright. Craig, and then first. This guy claims that he's Satoshi Nakamoto.
This guy's a scam artist.
I could just look at that dude and tell you he lies to you.
He's like a freaking preacher, He has a mega
and he has like conferences and like, dude, I'm telling you, like no one shows up to his conferences. Like the Bitcoin conferences, people actually like show up to. Literally, no one shows up to like when he talks publicly.
This
he
looks
gets like people
Jordan
that
Belfort if he was from Ohio instead of
like he has like, I'm not even kidding, like when people do show up to his like conferences, they like heckle him hard. They like tell him like, oh, you're not Satoshi, you're fake, and he like tries to be like, oh yeah, and he doesn't have any counter arguments. It's like really cringy.
I would use prison vernacular for this guy and tell
look how smug he looks in that photo. Oh my god.
That's smug. That's a smug wolf ticket salesman right there.
Yeah, I don't think he's a creator.
And then
not least we have Uniswap.
Uniswap, yeah.
You have to ask a question though about Satoshi. Does it make more sense that Satoshi is a dude or like a real person, or somebody or Satoshi is somebody that somebody made up?
Why can't it be a different J?
Bitcoin.
To be honest, like no one really knows, honestly. I mean, anything is possible. Some people, I've talked to some people think it's a byproduct of the CIA or like the NSA or something, like some like government project that went rogue. To be honest with you, maybe there's a huge backdoor that we don't know about. To be honest with you, I have no idea. But
there is a lot of government involvement in Google in the beginning, Facebook, because they knew that they could use that as an avenue to spy on American citizens and get their data. The CIA was involved with Google, the CIA and the FBI and NSA from almost day one. So it wouldn't surprise me.
Government conspiracy to bankrupt the poor and middle class, basically.
No, it's a conspiracy to get your data. That's what they wanted. That's what Edward Snowden.
That's like one thing they always, it's decentralized, but I mean, because like basically everything's public information. They can track every transaction, everything, right?
Yeah, that is one thing I don't like about crypto. It's like, what if you got to make a transaction? People work under the table all the time.
Yeah, there's something called Monero. You guys are familiar with Monero or no?
No, I haven't heard of it.
So Monero is kind of like Bitcoin, except like every transaction is like hidden, so to speak. So a lot of people like joke about it. A lot of people joke about it because
that's what they exchange for services at the docks. Monero.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or like I lost something in a boating accident from the IRS. Like I'm not doing this. Like I don't really like I pay my taxes. Like I don't need the IRS coming after me and stuff. Like,
well,
I
do like how the government, I mean, some people disagree with this, but a lot of people don't pay taxes, which freaking pisses me off. So one thing I would like is if you're getting income from, self-employment, you better freaking report that. And, crypto, I guess, would help the government see that.
Wow. I agree with
pay taxes, you shouldn't vote.
I agree.
I paid almost $4,000 in freaking quarterly taxes yesterday.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, Jesus. I got pounded.
But here's the thing too. I would say to people is a lot of people, poor and middle class, actually don't understand when they're like, should the wealthy pay more taxes? And they're like, yeah. And I go, bitch, you have a negative income tax rate. If you're making like under 60 grand a year, you have a negative income tax rate. Did you get money back from the government? Oh, you did? Good. Negative income tax rate.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm paying taxes now because I have a kid with a child tax credit, and if they extend it, and I'm gonna have 2 kids this year, that's $7,200 tax credit against my tax liability. I don't think I'm a taxpayer anymore, personally.
Well, and here's my thing
guys,
about.
I'll talk to you later. I gotta head out.
You got a show? You got a set tonight?
I actually work in a little bit, and I need to shower. I'm doing
brother.
a set later tonight, though. Yeah.
All right, brother. I'm going to Steep tonight. So.
Nice. All right, bye, buddy.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you,
well, I mean, like, yeah, I'm with Chris. It does actually piss me off when people don't pay taxes because I filed for my taxes when I was going to school on the GI Bill, and I made no money on paper. And then I was working for the VA, and that was what I was doing was like a student program, and that was also non-taxable. But I still filed taxes with the IRS. You're right. It does piss me off.
Tax return, because even if you don't owe income tax, you might. That's how you get a lot of the credits. So you still want to file a tax return.
Oh, I filed my taxes. Well, obviously I'm working now, but even if I was to say retire tomorrow, I'd still file my taxes every year, even though I wouldn't have taxable income. But yeah, you're right. It pisses me off when people don't pay taxes, but a lot of people in this country have gotten it in their head that the wealthy, like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, I don't know, those could be poor examples, but they think that the wealthy don't pay taxes, and it turns out they pay the vast majority of the taxes already.
Yeah, basically most of the government is funded by like the top 10 to 20%.
And they also don't understand when you have AOC up there going, well, we had 90% taxes in the 1950s. And I go, yeah, and the government collected about 15 to 20% of that money. And
yeah, because that's the tax bracket. But if you can deduct, if Congress has a lot of deductions, that's how they can hide, helping the rich. If you have a lot of deductions, you'll never get to that tax bracket. So that doesn't mean you're paying tax.
And it also becomes this thing where if you are wealthy and you're like, okay, you're going to take 90% of my money. If I go over X amount, why would I work anymore? What's the incentive?
90% plus Social Security, basically 100%. Plus state tax. So you're actually paying, more than 100%.
Yeah, it gets to the point, man. If I have, $50 million in the bank, and then they say, okay, but if you make any more money, we're going to tax that at 90%. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to the beach. I'm not doing anything then. Anyways.
On the YouTubes. All right, Uniswap.
Yeah,
we'll get back
to Uniswap. So basically, it's like Robinhood, but on the blockchain. So like Robinhood is, I'm not really a fan of Robinhood after the GameStop fiasco, and Uniswap really got me into this space because of how everything is very transparent. You can look at the liquidity pools and see how much of what is in a liquidity pool between like, say like Ethereum or DAI, like a stable coin. DAI, like one DAI is equal to $1 in Ethereum. So like you would be able to see like, okay, if I want to trade this pool, there's this balance between it, so that I know I could trade with it, right? If you guys want to check out Uniswap, like the website, Chris, if you want to show like the audience,
I want to see the unicorn.
Yeah, home Uniswap protocol, and then I think you have to scroll down a bit, or sorry, top right, launch app in the top right, the pink.
It's just gonna download a virus.
No. So like the idea is like. Okay, so in the top right, you would connect your wallet, but you don't have a MetaMask wallet. But like, so if you had MetaMask or some wallet like that, then you would be able to connect by clicking a button, and it would like automatically identify like your wallet and everything, and automate that. And you could pick all these tokens. Like you pick the token that you have at the top, and then you pick the token that you want to. Yeah, 1 inch. I know it's a hilarious
token right here.
Yeah, 1 inch is a hilarious thing. I don't know whose idea was that. And in terms of like networks, so to speak, if you guys want to, Chris, if you want to go to the top right again. So you see Ethereum, right, in the top right. So if you click on that,
Shit's like freezing up. There we go.
so if you, so these are different networks. So Ethereum is kind of slow right now because it's still like Ethereum 2.0 is being worked on. But in the meantime, like as alternatives, so people don't have to pay hundreds of dollars to do a swap, what people do is they can go to Polygon, where a swap is like a few pennies. Optimism and Arbitrum are still pretty cheap as well. They're not like super cheap. I mean, they're relatively much cheaper than Ethereum, but like Polygon, I think, is the cheapest right now.
Optimism and Arbitrum.
Yeah, so Polygon is like a side chain, so to speak. It's compatible with the EVM, like Solidity programming language.
It's like a side note.
Kind of, yeah. So like, but for Arbitrum and Optimism, they're both like L2 rollup. So what they do is they compress kind of like the information on a transaction so that it's not as intensive. There's not as much math that has to be done like directly on Ethereum's chain. It's just settled on Ethereum for that same amount of security, ideally, and but much cheaper. So it's like the trade-off.
All right, where are the unicorn pictures?
So there's one right there. If you just go to Uniswap on Google Images, you can see it as well.
This is my favorite.
Is a singularity. Is
Yep.
Solana a scam?
I mean, I hate to use the word scam, but like I was talking about Solana from before. I mean, I was talking about how like a lot of VCs were joking about selling their tokens. They were asking each other like, "Hey, are you holding?" I'm like, "Ish." Like I'm holding ish. I'm like holding until like the lockup is done. And like the network, it has gone down like 3 or 4 times in the last 6 months. It's not acceptable in my opinion at all. It's not like it's very centralized. Like people say the TPS is fast and everything, but it's
There you go. Double question mark. Double question mark.
I mean, technically you could like trade with it, but like the risk is like how secure is the network, and it is concerning to see it go down so frequently.
So the main question is, if I was to pick one of these to YOLO my life savings, what would it be?
I honestly, I would not YOLO anything into this. Like I would put like maybe like
Speculative.
You guys say like 5% at max for you guys, or like 1% to like maybe like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and like maybe some other stuff. But like, yeah, I mean, 90% of it is Bitcoin and Ethereum based off of the percentages at the top. Everything else is more risky.
I mean, if I had gotten in on like the ground floor, even though I don't believe in crypto, I'd be willing to speculate like a little bit under 1% of my portfolio. But if I did that, I would just tell you, I'm looking at this as no different than gambling on a UFC fight. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's right, but
wait, Chris,
honestly, this index fund isn't a bad idea. I mean, if you want to get into crypto, I would definitely have some kind of index. And here, this is market cap weighted, which is the Boglehead philosophy for crypto shills, you know?
Actually,
my problem just goes back, and I keep going back to crypto, and I keep asking this question. Nobody can really answer it for me. Is like, what is this? Is it an investment? Is it currency? Because it comes down to when somebody says to me, they're like, it's an investment. Okay, but it doesn't produce cash flows. So it can't be an investment. Well, it's currency, but it's deflationary. Therefore, it can't be currency because I want to use inflation to pay off the mortgage on my house. Well, it's like digital gold. It has utility, but it doesn't because gold is used in a lot of industrial uses. So I come back to when I ask people about it, I just go, okay, so but what is this?
It's the future.
Let's go back to Uniswap really quick. Wait, Chris, can you go back to Uniswap? I wanted to show something really quick. So, so in terms of the cash flow, so Uniswap, because it has a swap fee, it's like pretty cheap. It's like 0.3%. And technically, like they are, I think I talked about like earlier too, like they technically, because they have a fee for trading, that's a cash flow from my understanding, right? And like in terms of, go back to launch app in the top right. And in terms of like other protocols, like there's Aave. So Aave offers collateralized loans, so to speak, to mitigate risk.
Yeah.
So the idea is that, let's say that you're trying to be tax efficient and like you don't want to sell, like the best time, I guess. So I'm not an expert on this. Don't quote me on this, but like the idea is that you want to take collateral that you think is going to appreciate and it's kind of bottomed out in terms of the market cycle. Like you don't want to like collateralize something that's about to like dump in half, so to speak, and get liquidated, right? So you can do that. Like if you don't want to sell stuff and you want to like do these rollover loans and keep like refinancing at cheaper rates, you could try to do that with Aave. And the way they produce a cash flow, from my understanding, is they pay a premium. And are you guys familiar with flash loans? Have you guys heard of that before or no?
What is it? Flash loan?
A flash loan. So a flash loan is like it's like high frequency trading on like on steroids. It's crazy. So like the idea is that you can do arbitrage within like a few seconds, so to speak, or not even a second. Like you do it, like the idea is that there's a huge loan that you could take out, could be tens of millions of dollars without any collateral. And you're allowed to have that collateral for only one block, which is like a span of 15 seconds. So the idea is that you pay a premium to get that $15 million loan. But if you know how to like basically do arbitrage to make a profit off of that after paying the premium, you can make a lot of money. And some people make hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that a day.
Who the hell is lending? Like, I would not lend my money in a flash loan for some clown to trade.
I mean, I wouldn't myself, but like the idea is that like the risk is that you get your money, like it'll revert all that loan money if it's not paid back immediately. That's how they mitigate the risk. It's like you kind of like have like that credit, but like if you don't pay it back within that like 15-second span, you never had that credit to begin with. It's kind of like that. I think that's how they kind of mitigate the risk. It is complicated.
Like a margin account where they have like provisions where they automatically, take the money back if the security the person's buying dips a certain amount, or is that too complicated? Or is it literally just you just get the money back in 15 minutes? Or 15
not even 15 minutes, 15 seconds. I mean, the idea is like I have a lot of collateral, right? And like I want to make money off of premiums, right? So I will only give out my money if the person can guarantee within that transaction they'll be able to pay me back, so to speak. And the reason someone would want to do that, to take out a flash loan even after paying the premium, is that they can do arbitrage between different automated market makers or different exchanges, so to speak.
This is
so
crazy.
it's hard. It's very complicated. Like it's like the hard thing is like you can learn how to do it, but then like the strategy might change. So like it's a very like complicated thing to do. Like I mean the concept isn't too hard, but like actually getting good at it and making money consistently with it, it's a very hard skill.
This is actually when I do my portfolio reveals, I just take flash loans really quickly and then take a screenshot. So it makes it seem like, oh, look.
Hey, look at how much money I have.
Yeah, but like, so I do want to make a point though. Like so my credit isn't, I mean, like, here's my thing. Like, I don't have any debt. Like, I was always pretty responsible with like my money. I paid off all my student loans quickly because I went to a public school, and I'm not like a frivolous spender. Like I'm very minimalistic or whatever. But like I went to my credit union because I never had credit cards because my parents, I think, had them and they had mixed feelings about them. So I'm like, I guess I'll stay away from them, right? So I've been trying to build up my credit for like 6 months, and I was trying to get like a loan for like a surgery that I'm going to be having for like my sleep apnea. And like my credit union was like, oh, we'll give you a 20% loan. I'm like, what? But if I go to Aave, yeah, dude, I couldn't believe. I was like, this is ridiculous. But if I go to Aave and I collateralize like some asset like Bitcoin, Chainlink, or Ethereum, from my understanding, the interest is only 3%, and that's only at the snapshot of what the thing is. It's not like if they, like, the worst case scenario that could happen is like I guess the value of those assets drop, so to speak. But like if I know that, well, not no, but like if the market tanks like 50%, so to speak, and like I'm confident that I'll have the money coming in and I could pay it back in enough time, then I just got like really cheap debt.
See, the problem with all this decentralized crap is I don't think all these people that are lending money, the crypto space, are really doing their due diligence. And I'm not saying like you, for example, I'm just saying in general. I mean, banks actually look at like your income and see if you can actually freaking afford it.
Yeah, well, the idea, this goes back to the smart contract that has all this business logic built into it, so to speak. Like it does all the risk math for you and it will liquidate you.
It just doesn't seem like it does because the rates are so low. It's like you wouldn't be charging such a low rate. And then you have banks here wanting to charge 20%, and then you have your crypto lender wanting to charge you 3%. It just seems like there's a huge disconnect in the due diligence.
I guess it's because it's collateralized versus it's not. I mean, I didn't ask them for collateral, so to speak, for the other credit union that I went to, so maybe that was the reason. But like, I mean, I've heard even with like other stuff, like if I like in traditional finance, I could only get like a 10% like collateralized loan.
Yeah, collateralized you're gonna have a lower interest rate, but
yeah, because if you don't pay, they have something to.
And then here, like your collateral is a crypto, right? I mean, like cryptos can dump in 80, 90, 100%. I mean, that just seems crazy.
Well, I mean, the idea is you wouldn't want to do it with like something that's like Dogecoin or like some like silly pump and dump. Like you're asking for trouble if you're gonna like collateralize your money with that. If it's like something like, I guess, Bitcoin or Ethereum or some other stuff like that, that is like you have understood and like you're an expert in and you know it's gonna go up, and the market just took a crash, then it's like it's not as risky. But the worst thing you could do is like people like are telling you like, oh hey, you heard about this new coin and it's up like 100x or whatever, and you collateralize that, you're asking for trouble. Like, do not do that.
Well, hey dude, what kind of surgery are you getting for sleep apnea?
I'm getting like double jaw surgery. It's gonna be a little crazy.
Oh, you're getting the mandible facial thing?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, because I got my tonsils and adenoids out. It didn't do anything for my sleep apnea.
Well, okay, my surgeon, he told me he can move my upper jaw like 5 millimeters, my lower jaw like 20
no,
millimeters.
I know what surgery that is. I've looked it up.
What are prostitutes with that surgery?
It has a high success rate. It's like one of the few things they think that will cure sleep apnea because it makes more space in the back of your throat. But
yeah, the surgeon took like an x-ray and he said like, yeah, I can move your upper jaw and it's going to double your posterior airway. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Dude, I'm with you, man. Sleep apnea is a mother effer.
Yeah, it's like heart disease.
Yeah, you wake up, man, and like, because sometimes people who don't have it don't understand. You wake up, man, if you don't get enough sleep, you're just like not motivated to do anything. You're just like, I don't feel like doing anything.
Exactly.
That's like me every day. Maybe I.
Dude,
yeah. So there was before we talk about, we keep going on tangents. I apologize, but like, well, I promise we're going to keep talking about the token. There was one thing I wanted to talk about because you guys brought up baseball cards, and like when I thought of baseball cards, I thought of NFTs. But I guess before I even talk about that, I guess I'll talk about Gary V really quick. You guys familiar with Gary V?
I need to make a
dude. I didn't know this, but like supposedly, like, dude, I couldn't believe this. So you guys know Mr. Beast as well. He's like a famous YouTuber, very popular.
I know.
So Mr. Beast, dude, Mr. Beast went on like a podcast. I don't know how legit this is, but like he went on a podcast and he was supposedly on this like Zoom call with like dozens or like maybe like a couple hundred like billionaires in this like inner circle. And like Gary Vee is like, hey, everyone, shut up. Let me tell you what the next big thing is. It's CryptoPunks. And then like I think not too long after, CryptoPunks went up a crazy amount, and Mr. Beast was like, oh, I'm up like 30x. So like I think someone even during the podcast was like, maybe like since you have all these like billionaire market makers, isn't he like kind of manipulating the market in that sense? So what do you guys think of that?
This guy's a scumbag.
Wait, okay, I don't even know who this dude is.
He's a social influencer,
he
bro.
says curse words a lot. I mean, that's and he's like a promoter. He's like a businessman, and he's like an influencer. Like, oh my god, start your own business. And then he pumps like NFTs and cryptos and
what's
a YouTube channel?
What's a crypto punk?
A crypto? Oh, you guys should look it up. So it's like the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it has something to do with the morons that are pumping up AMC and keep telling you.
No, it's different. It's actually something completely different. So, Chris, go to Google again, look up CryptoPunk, and then look up Bored Ape Yacht Club. So CryptoPunk is like the first like major NFT, so to speak. So the idea with an NFT is it's a token that lives on a blockchain, and that token
I know what
this
is.
Yeah. So like, the idea is that like I think the biggest reason why CryptoPunks are so valuable is because they're just so old. They're like an old Ethereum NFT, so like the novelty of them is so good. So Bored Ape Yacht Club I'm not sure how old it is relative to CryptoPunks, but it's like yeah, same thing. It's like photos. It's like portraits that are generated, and they're supposed to be like custom, so to speak. I think Eminem. If you guys want to look at Eminem's Twitter, he bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club the other day. Like I'm not making this up. Look up Twitter.
This is exactly my pet hypothesis on what this crap is going to become.
Dude, but here's the thing.
It's going to become a luxury item for rich people because all of this, like this is stupid. Why would you spend your money on that? Like, at least if I bought alcohol with it, I get to get hammered. Like, why would I? Like, hey, dude, I'll sell you my picture of an ape for $700. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Chris, I just sent you something.
Dude, this
Chris,
is
I just sent you something in the chat.
$231,000.
Chris,
it was how much?
$231,000.
Dude, let me tell you what should happen. There should be armies of chimpanzees beating you to death with rusty pipes if you buy that kind of stuff.
I can get it for free. I can save as image and put it on my desktop.
Exactly. Well, okay, let me get to that in a minute too. So wait, Chris, look at it's in the chat that I sent you for the stream. I sent you a link to this is insane. So you guys know Sotheby's, right? It's like an auction. It's like a really high-end luxury, like art luxury, like auction service or whatever.
Sotheby's?
Not the YouTube chat. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sotheby's.
Yeah, Sotheby's. Yeah, so they sold 101 of these for $24 million.
Jesus Christ! Look at this.
I can't wait.
$3 million.
Nothing makes me quite smile more than when idle rich people lose a bunch of money buying highly speculative BS. Even though there's going to be a lot of middle-class people who jump on this as a it's just all get-rich-quick schemes. I don't know what to say to people. Like, hey, man, are NFTs part of your portfolio? No, and now I want a Jean-Claude Van Damme spin kick you.
But yeah, so I personally don't really own any NFTs. I think if you know what you're doing, you can make money flipping them. But
yeah.
I don't know how to do that. That's the thing. And here's the thing, from like an investment standpoint, because they're non-fungible, they're extremely difficult to liquidate if you don't know what you're doing. Like if you buy something that you don't know what you're doing with and there's no demand for it, you just screwed yourself. You just bought something that's illiquid and you might have to panic sell it. So that's why
I'm not gonna be able to afford to buy something and flip something like this for $24 million.
But in terms of okay, I want to do like a thought experiment though, really quick with the So you guys said like the save as thing. So yeah, that is like a thing that people talk about, how you could technically like quote unquote own the image by copying and pasting it. But technically it's not the same, so to speak, like in terms of like owning it on like a digital or blockchain, so to speak. It's like I can make a photocopy of the Mona Lisa, but it's not worth anything, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the premise. So like and let me go to baseball cards even too. So like if I had to pick between, I don't buy baseball cards. I think they're not a good investment because I don't understand them. Yeah. And they don't produce a cash flow. And another thing is like, what if you buy a fake baseball card? Like, how do you know it's authentic, right? But
they have
with an NFT. Sorry.
They have places where you can send that stuff out. So you can get your card rated. And that's what a lot of people do. So it's almost like, people that collect coins, they'll send it to guys who really know like the mint business. And they'll be like, okay, this coin is rated whatever number out of 10 or 100, however they do it. And so like the experts in the field, I don't know how you would recreate like a Mickey Mantle rookie card, but let's just say that you could. There's probably an expert out there who'd be like, this is fake. Because that's how you get it rated, so you know, is you send it to this company and they like examine it and everything. So I don't know, maybe that'll pop up in the NFT space, but I'll still be sitting there going, hey, are NFTs part of your portfolio? No. Are they ever going to be? No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not promoting NFTs. I'm just saying relative to baseball cards. Like, let me put it this way. So, like, there's a lot. I think there's a lot wrong with that process, like from an automation standpoint. Like with an NFT, I could click a few buttons and look at the ledger and be like, oh, this is the original artist. This is the person that minted it. I know it's authentic because this is their address on Rarible or OpenSea, and boom, I know it. But with this like baseball card, I have to like first of all hope that it doesn't get lost in the mail and stolen. Right, that's a risk. And I don't know what maybe this is like I guess like a little further out there, but like what if like there's like, okay, this one's believable, like human error. What if the person who's judging your card messes up or something, and then someone down the line doesn't get the right card and it's a fake? Yeah, that's a real risk.
And also, I think the odds of you getting your NFT back, if it were stolen, are considerably higher than you getting your Mickey Mantle rookie card back. Because like you said, you can check the ledger on it. To me, you can't really, a lot of times when I'm making fun of something, take it too serious. Because, like I said, there might be money to be made here. I'm just not going to devote any amount of time to learning the market and how to do it.
Yeah, but guys, we can pool our money and buy this CryptoPunk 3100 for $106 million.
Buy it $106 million. I don't think
$106 million.
Yeah, like
hey, we're kind of running out of time, so let's do the let's finish with the truck stop.
We'll do the truck stop, and then I did want to kind of talk to you guys about what I've been working on just briefly. We won't talk about it too much, but yeah. So the idea here is like I was thinking like we won't do this because you guys told me not to, but like to deploy it on Polygon because the gas fees are cheap. It's like a few pennies to do a swap on Polygon. I've been testing it, and I think it's a really interesting platform for smart contracts. So like, I mean,
I'll give you a
Polygon and Ethereum kind of
truck stop token. I'm just not going to trade it.
Oh, okay. So like, this is very important. So if you zoom in, look at Solana on this. Look at the token distribution. It's like I can't even see that. Like you can't even see all the numbers. It's like 1 or 2% is public. Everything else is owned by insiders and VCs and the foundation. Isn't that disgusting? I think it's disgusting to me.
So basically, the more red you see is the more ownership by insiders. The more
ideally, the blue is as big as possible because then it's as public as possible. Like if you like red, gray, and I guess it's like a light green. They're all kind of bad if you're like an investor, in my opinion. If I'm like a glance, because like red is insiders, community, like.
Foundation,
I guess it's somewhat better foundations, but like they're all basically the same thing. It's like those are tokens that will not see the light of day unless they get they get dumped on your head heavily. Right?
I want truck stop token to have as much red as possible.
No, but like in theory, on the next page I made like a fair version of it. I actually try to make it as like most of it public. 1
will exist. 82% open to the public. No, I want more insider. Foundation.
We're the foundation. Yeah, the foundation page is the last part.
The roadmap. List on Uniswap.
So that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But
we plan to. Blah, blah, blah,
this is not going to happen.
Here's the founders.
Wait for Jay. Go up a little bit. Oh, okay. I want Jay to see this though. So leave this on the screen.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he went for a moment. But I guess for the
I didn't even hear him go.
Yeah. In the meantime, I guess while he's gone, I'll talk about the other projects I've been working on. So I was in the Chainlink hackathon. The first project I did was kind of like Jay, here's the team page.
But with my meat spin Kevin
Kevin's hair, and then he dyed his hair because he got insecure about it.
Dude,
like from green to red.
I love the fact that we're annoying the ever-loving crap out of both of them, and I think that they went to YouTube, and I think they somehow got my videos throttled.
Yeah, so I did see, like, I wanted to know, like, me, Kevin, he showed his portfolio. I don't have it on me right now, but like, I thought it was extremely risky. Like, he had like a crazy amount of like all these other altcoins, but he was only like, 15% Bitcoin, 15% Ethereum. Everything else was alts. And I'm like, this dude is going to lose a lot of money. Like,
he doesn't, no matter what market he's in, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like I did a video they got a lot of views, and I think that's what got me throttled, where I talked about how his portfolio is just speculative trash. Like probably 70 or 80% of his portfolio are highly speculative companies that have yet to turn a profit. Like you can go look at it.
Oh God, meet Brett's portfolio.
Yeah, I sit there and I go, okay, you have 100 stocks or somewhere in that area. Why wouldn't you just buy an ETF? Like,
because he has his own ETF, bro.
Yeah, right.
Maybe he's trying to launch an ETF one day. I would not be surprised in the slightest. Like another way to basically grift off people.
Well, they got their Hungry Bull app now, and I went out, like I looked at it for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I guess, but I'm like, Everything Money has a stock analyzer tool, if you want to call it that. All it does is it calculate your intrinsic value. But I mean, at least that's there for the average person.
Strongman has a tool as well, and it's free, but I'm not giving it out.
Yeah. But
yeah, because you figured out how to go back and recreate it.
Oh, it wasn't hard. It's just a simple DCF. It really isn't hard to make.
No. I didn't think it was anything complicated. I just didn't know where they were getting their information from. And that's like why I've explained on my channel where people have asked me about certain stocks and like I can't actually give you an intrinsic value. The only thing I can use here is book value because they're not producing any cash flows. Like,
well, you can discount the negative cash flows to find a buy point, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I could do that, but I could figure out a way to do that using math, but I'm not going to devote my time to that. Because it's just different goals for people. Like my thing is I'm Boglehead. I'm going to have 95 to 90% of my money in index funds. Then I want maybe 5 to 7 stocks in my portfolio that I believe are bangers just to give me a 1 or 2% percentage point increase. And that's my strategy. Other people can have different strategy. I'm not saying I'm right. That's just
you're referring to like Honest and Tattooed Chef.
Yeah. So that's what I have is I use Boglehead for most of it, but then I go to Jeremy Lefebvre and I'm like, oh, Honest Company, highly speculative. There is no way to value.
Yeah. So actually, I want to respond to this. So you can technically value Uniswap because it has a cash flow in Aave, so it does produce a cash flow, and you can do DCF with it. In terms of everything else that is more speculative, like with Chainlink, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So Ethereum and Chainlink, I think, are kind of easier to evaluate. Like Chainlink, you could look at total value locked in protocols, like with like Aave and like Compound and other big protocols that use their services, and or they're protecting, so to speak, with like price feeds or like API calls or VRF or Chainlink keepers, all those services. With I guess Ethereum, that's even like a further zoom out, like anything that's built on Ethereum, it's kind of producing gas fees for the miners. So it is very hard to kind of value them from that perspective. You could kind of like evaluate just projects that are built on them, right?
Andrew, I'm with you on it. Look, if somebody disagrees with me, they disagree with me. You can have more knowledge on a subject than I do. I don't really understand cryptos, and I like Singularity, so I'll listen to him talk about cryptos, but it's the same with my really good buddy John. He'll talk to me about cryptos, and I just kind of look at him and I'm like, dude, I don't know. And he goes, well, why don't you learn more? And I go, because I don't want to.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing that scares me is like, what if the government creates its own digital currency and they make it extremely manipulative? Why don't they just inflate it? They'll inflate it like Dogecoin. Like Dogecoin, I feel like it would be on the same level as that.
The biggest problem with crypto is the fact that if it were to ever take off, it interferes with governments around the world doing what they want to do with their fiat currency, which is borrow and promise the taxpayer something. And really, this is pretty much all governments need to do. They just want to say, okay, well, if you're caught with any amount of crypto, that's a year in jail. I don't know that a government would do that, but if it ever seriously became a threat to like the Fed or central banks around the world, trust me, they're going to do something that prevents crypto from taking over. I don't know what that is, but
yeah, well,
that's the way I look at it.
the thing I would say is that I guess like the price would absolutely get devastated. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of like shutting down the Bitcoin network, they'd have to literally hunt down every single miner in the world to shut it down fully. It might like become really slow, but that's the kind of argument.
You have to get to you have to understand. So on a certain level, criminals are never going to obey the law. We all know that.
Yeah.
That's why they're criminals. But you and I are normal dudes with jobs where we're kind of like afraid of the legal system. At least if you're smart, you're afraid of the legal system. So, I mean, that's what I would say is if like the central banks wanted to go after the average person just isn't going to take the risk.
Yeah, the average person won't, but I'm saying like if it's like someone that is like running like a syndicate or they have a big operation and they have money, then they'll be like, I'm going to Antarctica or like some crazy place where there's not a lot of governance. Right.
Yeah,
so
that's like Ozymandias in the Watchmen, get a secret base in Antarctica.
Exactly.
But
and Dogecoin can be the currency down there, you know.
But yeah, and I mean, look, it's this. I'm repeating myself when I say this, but it's if you know how to make money with baseball cards, crypto, wine, art, whatever it is, do it. It's just that for me, it's okay. It's not my way. I'm not really going to go any further. I played around and I think I bought Doge. I think I spent $60 and I bought Doge at like 15 or something and sold it at like 25. And I was just sitting there and I go, all right, I'm done with this. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not negative, but.
Wait, Chris, before we go to more comments really quick, I know we're running out of time, but I did want to kind of talk about the two projects I did do. So the first project for the hackathon I did was like a vending machine. It was like I connected a servo motor to a Raspberry Pi, and Raspberry Pi is like a computer and a servo motor is just like a mechanism for.
I thought it was like an actual Raspberry Pi. Like,
no, Raspberry Pi, they're little programmable computers. They're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so like what I did was I made a smart contract that would read Chainlink price feeds for commodities like gold and silver at spot price. And if someone paid the right amount of Ethereum and the servo motor wasn't in like the state where it was already opened, then I would be like, okay, you made a purchase, you sent us Ethereum. Now we're going to unlock that part of the vending machine. We're going to move out of the way. And then by gravity, the door will open and you can pick up your like ounce of gold or your ounce of silver, so to speak.
Wow.
They
actually gave you money for that?
So yeah, I mean, it was for engineering competition and there was prize money, so I did win some prize money for it. And there was a second project. I need to, yeah. But the second project I did was, and I think Chris is gonna like this. So I was thinking of like, so that first project I actually did completely by myself, solo. I made the robotics stuff all myself and the website and everything, all by me. But the second project, I found a few other people in the same hackathon. I still had time, and like we were thinking of ideas, and I was thinking of insurance products, and like for some reason the word volcano came into like my mind, and I was like, volcano insurance. That sounds really like weird and kind of silly, but like I was like, wait, like let me think about this, right? And the name that I came up with was disruptive insurance.
Volcano.
So, like, but dude, it won as well. People really liked it, and some people, like, I'm not kidding, like three or multiple. Yeah, I haven't really kept count, but like a few investors have actually.
Like, if you put disruptive or innovation, like you're gonna get more attention and potentially win things or get more money thrown at you. It's
like outside of the competition, like 3 venture capitalists have like communicated with me, like, hey, you should apply to like our startup. Like,
dude, you're gonna get freaking rich. I can.
Dude, get rich, bro. Do that stuff and get rich.
Yeah, I mean, I mean the volcano one. I think there might be a market for. Like, I have to research it, but like in Italy and like Iceland and like Japan and like I think the Philippines, like
Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia. Like there might be a market for it, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I did these projects for fun. But if people are really interested, I could try to put more time into it and make it a
well, you
legit
can
thing.
also, I mean, like build your YouTube because you have obviously a YouTube channel, but don't you have a couple hundred subscribers?
Yeah, I have like 400 now. I've been trying to post more frequently. I have my post. Have you guys seen my most popular video? It's a little controversial, or no?
No, what'd you do it on?
It was like I'm really into robotics, and like there's like a really realistic robot. It's controversial because it's like from like an android, and it's like anatomically correct. I'll just leave it at that. It's nothing inappropriate. Like the robot actually can move its arms, but it's from a company called Real Doll, so to speak, and like it has like 100K views. But it's like completely PG. There's nothing inappropriate with it. I want to keep the channel PG. Maybe in the future, for more videos, I might get one. Like I'm not kidding. Just to see how people like respond to it. I might do video requests, so that's something I'm thinking about doing in the future.
You can probably sell. You can probably sell some internet activities on certain websites.
I don't know if I want to do that though. I mean, I just want to keep it PG. Like honestly.
And so how like I don't know if you mentioned this when I was taking a piss or something, but how much are people off? Because you said you had like job offers, or you were looking at something like that before we started. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so like I will say this. So like I've been applying to a few different people just to see like how people would respond. Some people, like I've been getting callbacks about certain like assessments that I was given. I was like, hey, build this, and people were like, oh, hey, I like what you did. Let's have another interview. And I haven't really gone like too deep into it, so I'm just kind of like filling it out. But I'm extremely grateful that people appreciate my work in the space so far.
Well, if you have a unique skill, people will pay money. I mean, even like the crypto space is nuts. Like, I saw an accounting job for a crypto fund. They wanted me to move. Well, I mean, I didn't apply to it, but like they want you to move to Puerto Rico, and they were going to pay $125,000 a freaking year for an accounting job for crypto. Like, it's crazy how much these crypto people are paying.
Yeah.
You know, that means they're making money somehow. You know, it's probably
dude. They're all moving down to Puerto Rico so they don't have to pay federal income tax.
Yeah, I mean,
dude,
that's massive savings right there. That's your biggest expense as a business besides.
And like I think Ray Dalio, not Puerto Rico, but I think the Cayman Islands, I think that's how you pronounce it. That's like a tax haven as well. It's like one of the most expensive places to live.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why Peter Schiff is. I like listening to Peter Schiff's podcast, as hyperbolic as he is, but he does have. I know he's selling something, but he is very knowledgeable. But I just like to get his take on things. But yeah, he relocated to Puerto Rico.
I need to do it. So I made a video a long time ago about Peter Schiff's funds.
Oh, dude, his funds are terrible. His funds.
I need to do a remake. They're freaking garbage.
His son loves Bitcoin though for some reason.
It's probably because he's growing up rich. Because Peter Schiff's, I looked at, there's like a 5% expense ratio on that.
Oh God, really? I didn't know it was that high.
Something
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's something ridiculous. You got to go look. I can't remember what it is off the
I'm going to make a video on it again because it's been a while since I've covered Peter Schiff.
But, like I said, as hyperbolic as he is, I don't know. I just like listening to his podcast. I take his investment stuff with a grain of salt, but.
I mean, he's going to be right because he always talks about, the market's going to crash. Buy gold. I mean, eventually he'll be right and then he'll seem like he's a genius, but the market always crashes.
Yeah, like Michael Berry. Michael Berry was like shorting the housing market like a year before the crash happened. Like it's just like you could be right, but your timing could be horrendous.
Michael Burry is right, and he's usually too early.
I mean, it's not hard to call the market as overvalued.
Yeah, it's just you don't know when everything's gonna. Yeah, Peter, crypto to zero, hyper. Yeah, he is. He says that, but yeah, you don't know when the market's gonna crash. That's the entire problem with it.
That's why you dollar cost average, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to the one guy who was he's a CPA. Is like you just don't know.
I trolled his channel because he was pumping Tattooed Chef.
Huh? You what?
I I found his channel. He was he had a video about Tattooed Chef, and I commented on it. That's why he's here, I think.
Well, that CPA.
Yeah.
Well, I'll explain it to you how, like, you don't know when the market's going to crash. That's why for the average person, it's best to dollar cost average and then hunt for individual stocks that are trading at a depressed rate, i.e., that's why I recently bought British American Tobacco ADRs, is because it was trading below its book value.
Oh,
so
dude, that's the stock I'm going to buy. Because I was going to buy JD. I actually transferred like $550 to my Robinhood. Because I was like, JD's at 62. That's my buy point. And then it went up to like 60 something, 68 or something. It's like, damn. So now I have 550 sitting there. I might throw it in BTI because I remember doing the video on that too. And that was pretty.
Yeah, dude. So it's like, and I mean, here's the thing. People can judge me on this. I don't have a whole lot of confidence that I nor anybody else, especially on YouTube, is going to outperform the market in the long run. That's why the vast majority of my money is in index funds, because it just turns into this thing that you could run all the numbers, look at everything perfectly, and every sign is telling you that this is going to be a banger stock for you. But then just something from the outside comes along and influences it, and it doesn't live up to your expectations when you did all the homework correctly. That's just the way the market is, man. Like we've talked about this, Chris, neither one of us understand why there is such a rush, to just jump into a stock, no matter what price it's selling at, and why people are so hardcore into buying individual stocks in the first place. The numbers
because they went up fast after March 2020. That's why everybody thinks they can get rich quick. That's literally
it's financially literacy. That's what it comes down to. They don't know about John Bogle and how they can't beat the market over long periods of time.
Yeah, and it comes down to this. Right now, you can look at it like this: dividends plus inflation plus growth is what you're going to get. But the numbers are really clear on this. The average person gets between 2 and 3% returns versus the market 7 to 10%. So
that's a massive difference when it comes to compounding. 2% is like a bond, basically.
I did not know it was 2% to 3%.
Yeah, it's like
that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of that is because you don't keep your emotions in check. BABA, people have made fun of me because I'm bullish on BABA. Okay, if it doesn't work out for me, it still is not going to slow down my retirement by one day. If BABA goes
down, I really think that's a millionaire maker stock right there. But even then, it's only.
I'm bullish on it. I think, especially at current levels, you're looking at a 20 to 25% return on it.
Easy.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I'm more conservative than a lot of other people out there on my assumptions. If you look, I even did an example of a stock like a week or two ago where everything is telling me to buy it. And I'm like, I'm not buying this stock. All the metrics are lining up. It was trading below its gram number. It's trading below its book value. And then I just looked at it and I looked into the business model. It was Graham Holdings. And I go, they own Kaplan University. No confidence that this thing's going to go anywhere. Not buying it. So I don't know. It's the whole game is just patience, man. If you like a company and you think this is a great company, set your buy point. And when you get into the general vicinity of it, buy. If your buy point is 62, it doesn't have to be 62. It could be 64.
Yeah, I feel stupid. I was like, because it was like 65. And I was like, I didn't buy it. I was like, I should have just freaking bought it. I mean, it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to, my goal on BTI is this is a small, tiny portion of my portfolio. I just want to see how things work out if I'm buying below book value. And that's why I'm buying it. There's a few things I didn't like about BTI in there. negative cash flows from investing, and I believe it's trading below. I believe its current ratio is below 1. But I looked at it and I'm like, if it's trading below book value, I'm willing to take a chance on a few things that I don't like about it.
Yeah, honestly, I'll probably buy it. Either that or JD on Monday.
But that's one thing I never wanted to do on my channel is directly tell you to buy a stock. Like my sheet is set up so that when it's telling you it's a buy point, that's when you actually go do research. Not my Excel sheet tells me this is a buy, and then I just blindly run to the market and buy it. Because like I said, like Chris and I talk about this, we just hate the hype. Like you're giving people bad advice. People are going to lose money because of you.
Yeah, my friend has been asking me. He knows nothing about cryptocurrencies, and he's like asking me.
You can eat a dick with that because we can change it to Gen X money because I am not a boomer or even remotely close.
But yeah, my friend was like, "Hey, what stock should I buy?" Or like, "What are you buying?" And he's like asking me all this. I'm like, "Dude, just buy an index fund." Like, I can't tell you what to buy individually because if you don't get the right entry point and the right exit point, then you're gonna sabotage yourself. Like you could have let me give a perfect example. So I actually like my portfolio like with individual stocks has been fine overall, but like this was back when I didn't really understand the market, right? So I bought a stock, I'm not gonna say the name of it, that
tell us.
I can't tell you. No, I can't tell you.
You bought Nikola, didn't you?
No. It wasn't a scam. It's a legit company.
I tried to speculate on Nikola. I was like, these fools are going to push this, and I got burned on it.
It's not a scam. It's not a scam. It's a legit company. It was actually doing well. I bought it. I did a 2x, and I was thinking like because people were telling me it's a 10x, and I didn't take profits because it wasn't a full year, and it was like it's a legit company, and it seemed like it was going to do well. And then what happened was it had some bad quarterly reports a few like months after, and I kind of needed the money, and I sold because everyone was just like so bullish on it, and now no one really cared about it. And like typically like I was not a Lufufu stock. I don't think Lufufu was ever talked about it. I won't say what it was, but someone else who was like a value investor was telling me about it, and it wasn't from you guys.
Why can't you? I want to know what this.
I can't tell you. It's a tech. It's a tech company.
Lost money, man. It's okay.
It's just because I know like if my friend finds this, he's gonna know who he is. That's the biggest thing, and like I don't want to be like,
dude.
But like it was like a couple $100 I lost. It wasn't that much,
dude.
But, like,
when I YOLO'd into Nikola, with $300. So I mean, but here's the thing. Peter Lynch talks about this. He said expect to get 4 or 5 stocks out of 10 wrong, and you're going. Yeah. And that's the game if you want to play it. Warren Buffett gets it wrong. Charlie Munger has gotten it wrong. So, I mean, it's arrogant to think that if these guys, as brilliant as they are, they make mistakes that you're not going to. And the best way to make money is the Warren Buffett rule. Don't lose money. That's the simplest way.
The biggest, don't lose money.
The biggest thing is like you could be right about everything again, and then like it's just like the discounted cash flow and the gram number could be perfect and everything, but just it might not work out with the company because some of the actual like management might just fall through or something happens, right? So it's a reality.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why also if you look at people on YouTube, half of them don't understand weighting. Where you're looking at them, you're like, why is this 10% of your portfolio? It hasn't grown to that. You just made this 10% of your portfolio. Like maybe 5 if you're extremely bullish on a stock. But even then, like if Baba exploded tomorrow, right? And it started because Meat Spin Kevin tries to drop a comment on Chris's channel, like Tesla just exploded to that level in my portfolio. Yeah, that's why you're an idiot, because you didn't take profits on it too. Well, Warren Buffett, 40% of it is in Apple. Cool. You're not Warren Buffett. Stop acting like you are.
Than Warren Buffett. All right, let's do some comments. We got like 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, if you guys have any comments you want me to pull up, I can.
Yeah, dude, he's okay. If you
let's make it happen. No, I'm joking. I can't. I mean, I would do.
You have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
This was funny. So Lufufu has this chick CPA that works for him. I don't know why she would debase herself like that. And she's actually like really highly qualified, but he called her a certified CPA accountant, certified public accountant.
Okay, if you're a CPA, how are you I don't care how much money Lufufu's offering you. How are you taking this dude serious? Like, looking at him like, so certified CPA accountant, what do you think about the balance sheets? You mean the financial statements? No, I mean the balance sheets.
I thought you were a CPA. I thought you were a certified CPA. Shouldn't you know what a balance sheet is?
Yeah.
Oh, he's such an idiot. Oh my god. Yeah, she must be making a lot of money if she's staying with him.
CPA guy wanted to know how I figure out intrinsic value. I do it in a multitude of ways. One way is I grow the earnings per share and then use a historic multiple of the stock market, and it's 15. Another way is just all of the cash flows totaled up times a multiple, and I don't go over 25 because it's just my personal viewpoint is you could, but you're just getting into ridiculous territory. And then I also use cash flows times a multiple of 3 or 5, depending on whether I think it's a fast grower. And that's just to represent the number 3 is a 3% inflation rate in perpetuity.
So, certified pussy acquirer. I think Strongman and Meat Kevin would actually be friends off screen. No, we would not. Our personalities are not the same. Trust me,
dude. When you watch him being snippy with that gorilla on the Valuetainment channel that used to fight, and you're just watching this 110-pound snippy little dude barking at this guy, and I'm like, I'm about to watch a murder on live TV.
He's very fake. Like, I don't like fake people. You know, he gives me a vibe of like a used car salesman, basically.
Yeah, he's fake. See, Lufufu's an idiot. Meet Kevin is just a fake human being. And then I can't for the life of me figure out why Graham Stephan runs with any of them, because I can just read his expressions in the comments. I can read his expressions on video. He thinks all 3 of them are idiots.
Yeah, Graham's the only smart one by far.
Yeah, well, B. Kevin at least sold his like tattoo shop at $25. I'll give him that. As
well,
opposed to Jeremy,
in the first place, so I don't really believe in him just from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Screw college. I have the Vanguard Healthcare index fund in my portfolio. So, because he said it's cheap at a 17 PE.
Is he referring to Facebook's company? Like, I'm not sure. I know there's the metaverse.
The Vanguard Healthcare ETF.
No, we're talking about
the comment. There's a comment asking about blockchain and Meta. So, like, I know I'm particularly not. I don't like Facebook. I'm gonna just put it very bluntly. They're very. There's a whistleblower thing, and this is actually related to blockchain technology. Like, with Facebook, they could just shut down all their servers like that. They could shut down Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, and that's what happened. They were down for a full day. But with like, if you have a good blockchain and you build stuff on top of it, your services are still going to be up and running 24/7. So that's why.
How did the teenage white girls survive for a day without Facebook and Instagram?
I know it's crazy. But like,
Mary, you're just buying a bunch of speculative trash. I wouldn't listen.
Yeah, like I wouldn't buy Meta mainly because they didn't talk anything about kind of blockchain. They just said, "Oh, we're going to have the metaverse." But here's my thing: like, if you buy all these like assets, or I can't even call them assets, but like you buy all these virtual like objects in this 3D world for Facebook, what happens if Facebook goes bankrupt and they don't have it on like some like decentralized platform? Your those virtual items are worth nothing because the company went bankrupt. You guys kind of get what I'm saying? Like it's
No, I
one
agree
company
with-
as opposed to having like this like global ledger, so to speak.
I agree with you. And also, like, what do you do when Meta wants you to become transgender and you refuse, and then they ban you?
It's a good question.
Like Strongman and Jay Nagy, you guys are showing a little bit too much testosterone for our audience. We're going to need to inject you with estrogen. Like, I'm not doing that. Banned from Facebook.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I need some estrogen. I'm almost too masculine, you know.
I mean, the biggest thing about Facebook is like I haven't had Facebook in like 10 years because it's just like it's very toxic. The feeds are very toxic. There's just like a lot of negativity on there. People complaining.
Well, you can not block it. Well, you can unsubscribe or unlike those pages. I actually exclusively use Facebook. I hate Instagram. I hate TikTok. I only use Facebook, and that's mostly for like, you know, storing pictures.
Yeah, I mean, instead of Facebook, I use LinkedIn, but I only really use it for messaging because it is more kind of professional, more public. In my opinion, but like the biggest thing is like Mark Zuckerberg just doesn't. I feel like he's just like there to like make money off of people, and like he just doesn't really care. Like he doesn't respect people that use his platform.
Dude,
like he wrote
Alien. You see him drink water. I was like, I'm not buying. First off, I'm not going to sit here and deny that Facebook is basically printing money. I just hate Facebook, and I'm not going to buy it as an individual stock.
I'm actually like, I would consider buying. I mean, I know you guys don't like it. I would actually consider buying Facebook. I think it has an amazing moat, and I think, you know, the total addressable market that Lafufu always talks about. I mean, everybody in the world can have freaking Facebook as long as they have the internet connection.
Yeah, my thing is though, where is it in VT in top holdings?
VT, it's probably like 1%. VT ETF.
Yeah. There was
most of big US stocks are about 1% of VT.
Yeah, so my thing about that is like, unless it's really undervalued and Facebook appears Meta, whatever you want to call it, but changing its name is stupid. Just like Square changing its name to Block. Like, I don't remember what the company is, but
Meta's exactly
Square and Block,
1% of VT.
I just look at it like, okay, I already own Meta, you know, at a decent weighting anyways. I'd rather look elsewhere for gains.
Yeah, but Chris, I sent you in the private chat a quote that Mark Zuckerberg did. I looked for I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want you to get demonetized. But it's censored. Don't worry.
I'll try to
it's censored in the
censor it.
tweet. It's already censored when you open it up. I checked.
Yeah, so if you need info about anyone at Harvard, just ask. I have over 4,000 emails, pictures, addresses, SNS. What? How'd you manage that one, Zuckerberg? Please, people just submitted it. I don't know why. They trust me, dumb Fs.
Yeah, screw college. Like, you're 100% right. I'm not saying that my dislike of Facebook stock is based upon anything rational. The only thing it's really based upon is that I don't think Mark Zuckerberg is a human being. He's either a lizard or an android, or like he's some sort of gray alien hybrid.
All right, this is the last comment. This is a great investment here. How freaking annihilated would you be if you shorted Amazon at 257?
Yeah, I mean, Amazon's massively overvalued.
Not that overvalued.
Yeah, dude, it's not. Last time I calculated it, I think it had a gram number of like 700. And then I think my intrinsic value is around 1,000 to 1,100. I would have to go back and look at those numbers because that was based upon like 5 months ago. Yeah, I don't believe that Amazon's a $30 stock, but like I said, I can be wrong about stuff. I'd have to go look.
Well, you have it in the index, so you're fine there. All right, well, that's it. Any last comments, Jay, or Singularity?
Nope,
No,
that
man.
should be good.
Hey, thanks for watching, guys.
Yep, subscribe to Jay's channel. Subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe to Singularity.
Thank you.
Give me all your money. Go buy my quote.
All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.